Knowledge isn't the same as transformation. We have access to more information than ever. There's a mind boggling surge of Enneagram content online and now IFS content online. And so much of it is entertainment. It's memes, it's hot takes, which type is most likely to, what to love about yourself if you're a certain type. And even the serious content often encourages people to identify more with their type. It reinforces your identity. It shores up the box we cram ourselves into unconsciously. In early monastic communities and more current communities focused on becoming more aware and conscious, the Enneagram was a map to identify our obstacles to love, to presence, to relating. And that's why it can be really destabilizing to really experience the type's tenacious grip and the suffering that grip causes to yourself and to other people. And I've been doing this inner work for 25 years, and 15 of those years have been focused on embodiment because of the skillful training. Thank you to those of you who've done some really solid work in embodiment. But during the pandemic, it's like the ante was upped. Our bodies were overwhelmed, including therapists and people in the helping profession, because I was seeing them as clients, as our collective hearts were heavy and tenderized or armored as we witnessed the dignity and disaster human beings are capable of when under pressure. It really hammered home for me that knowledge isn't enough, embodiment isn't enough, even empathy isn't enough. Why? Because we are three centered beings, and each of these centers has a distinct intelligence always operating under conscious awareness, whether we know it or not. And in ordinary life, these centers don't cooperate. They argue against themselves. And the head is up here trying to analyze. The emotions are reactive and shifting like the tides, and the body armors up, contracted, or gets ignored altogether. We're fragmented and over identified with our type narrative and whichever center happens to be loudest in the moment. And that's where the Enneagram comes in, because depending on your type, the centers argue differently. And each type kind of has its own signature of an inner civil war. And working with people, I can see it all the time and I can observe it in myself. So, with a combination of inner practice and three centers working together, you can develop a third force capacity. And that's where you can begin to hold paradox and the tension of opposites, where two things can be true at the same time and without collapsing into polarizing binaries. Some new way of seeing can emerge in a state, an inner state of three centered presence. And that is the signature of wisdom consciousness. So the inner shift experience was created partly out of this knowing. And in this immersion, we are integrating the Enneagram, the three centered contemplative presence, and internal family systems, sometimes called parts work, for therapists, practitioners like you who are, simply working with this in your personal lives, and people in the helping professions. If you're ready to go beyond introductions, more information, more online workshops, to start to cultivate a whole inner way of knowing that is different. And we'll offer you a lot of support in practicing, because the embodiment teachers tell us that we need 300 repetitions to really build a new way of being. Our October retreat is in Lake Logan near Asheville, North Carolina. So we'd love to have you join us for the inner shift in person. And we'll consciously support you in cultivating the untapped skill of free centered awareness, practice, and relating to other people.